Hello everyone. Thank you for joining today, wherever you are in the world. Allow me to start by telling you a little bit about today's webinar and our speaker. To introduce myself, my name is Gerhard Unger, General Manager of Bizagi Germany. I'm based out of Munich. And I'm joined by David Schenke, Application Development Manager of WL Bank. I'll be hosting today's session and will share some insight into WL Bank that you're about to hear from today. So, a quick overview of what we will be talking about today. I will give you a brief introduction into who Bizagi are. Then David will walk through the transformation story. And at the end, we will take 5 minutes to answer some of your questions. So please feel free to post them as we go through the presentation. If you don't manage to answer them, we will make sure that the team do so right after the presentation. Now, Bizagi offers a digital business platform that has enabled the digital process automation programs of over 500 enterprise customers worldwide. We are headquartered in the UK with operations across North America, Europe, and Latin America. Many of you will know us from our continued leadership position in the BPM space. But less of you may understand how our platform is being used for a wider goal. That of helping companies achieve their digital transformation objectives. We do this by wrapping their legacy system with an agile, process-centric application layer, delivering an engaging, connected experience to digitize their operations. But we will explore what this means over the next 30 minutes or so. Here are a selection of some of the over 500 customers we work with around the world, and a few of our key global partners. One of the key takeaways, you'll notice that our customers represent a broad range of industries. For example, finance, manufacturing, automotive, to point out a few. You should also note that a lot of these companies represent what you may call incumbent players, i.e. large established companies who, by definition, are often those that feel most keenly the challenge represented by younger, so-called born digital, agile competitors. And that is important to note in relation to some of the content we'll be sharing today. So hopefully that's given you a base understanding of Bizagi. Without further ado, I would like now to introduce David and get started.
Thank you, Gerhard. Let me first introduce WL Bank as a company. WL Bank is a Pfandbrief bank in the Volksbanken Raiffeisenbanken Cooperative Financial Service Group, founded in 1877 by Wilhelm I as the Landschaft der Provinz Westfalen, active for 130 years now. WL Bank is offering a broad range of services, from public sector loans to bonds, in particular in cooperation with the Volksbanken and Raiffeisenbanken. The main business is the real estate credit segment and the bundling of these credits into bonds under the restrictions of the German Pfandbrief law. The balance sheet total of WL Bank is about 40 billion. My name is David Schenke. I work as an information system engineer, and it is my job to identify and implement process automation in WL Bank. For this purpose, we did market vendor research and identified Bizagi as the right platform for process automation in WL Bank.
David, thank you. So what was the business requirement from WL Bank to start this project?
The main business requirement was to become a completely paperless organization within 1 year. For that, we had to bring the banking departments closer to the IT department. The BPMN modeling standard helps a lot with that. We hand out the Bizagi modeler to the banking department to gather their requirements. We were able to improve decision-making processes during our core credit process lane. There's a strict regulation on how credit decisions had to be made. We accelerated these decisions and get a better overview on what is on the table. So we achieved a fast customer response time. And everything had to be documented in terms of regulatory audits.
Thank you. But now the most important question, why did you choose Bizagi?
We chose Bizagi because it was possible to evaluate the solution. We simply downloaded the solution and set up Bizagi and tried out some demo cases. Bizagi is providing a hands-on approach, a no-code approach, so we could enable non-technical people to contribute to the project and we could get fast results. Bizagi is offering for us a simple set of functionality for process optimization that can be easily used. It can be extended by deep integration scenarios, but that is not necessary to bring a process in production. Also, Bizagi was offering a good documentation and every content in the Bizagi help portal is free. Another aspect was the integration with our IT landscape, which is .NET based. And Bizagi is also written in .NET. And it is very scalable. We could set up processes and later connect these processes to a process lane.
Thank you, David, for sharing your reasons why you chose Bizagi. Interesting. But what did you achieve as a result?
We achieved our goal to become paperless within 12 months, so we could switch from paper to Bizagi in all critical decision processes. We set up a number of processes, and we started with a low-risk, non-critical process with a high number of cases, 10 to 50 cases a day. And from that we moved on to develop a generic decision process, and we are now at 500 to 600 cases a month. After developing a generic decision process, we set up specialized decision processes, and now we are about to go live with 3 additional decision processes. And what can be told is that we set up a culture of improvement in our organization, because we could get a lot of acceptance in the banking departments by offering them results very fast. We had a meeting, they described their requirements, and a week after we can show them something which is actually working live in the Bizagi web portal.
Great. David, how was the business reacting to all that? Did the project bring the benefits they required?
Yes. As already mentioned, we created a culture of digital process innovation across our business. We could switch from paper to digital processes within the year, and we also had an audit by the banking supervision, and we matched all the requirements because everything is locked inside Bizagi. Every decision, every click the user is doing, and so yes, we can say we match the requirements.
Finally, David, what advice can you share with the audience here?
One advice is start small, think big. So pick out a perhaps not so mission critical process with a high number of cases and make the first steps. So you could get into the solution, learn something, and but keep in mind where you want to go to. So perhaps make naming conventions for your data model, define a data model, and think about all the upcoming technical challenges when in terms of deep integration scenarios to your existing IT landscape. That's one advice. Another advice deals more with the organizational perspective. If you have a decentralized organization, we set up a process board. We called it process board. We have from every banking department a member inside this process board and a process manager. And this process board identifies the core processes and also the core process lanes that are interactions between departments that need to be digitalized. And this is something you can easily underestimate how much work actually it is to identify these processes, to redesign these processes, to do all the talking with the banking departments. That's just an advice to have a solution for this. Set up something like a process board where these topics were discussed. And another advice would be when you set up Bizagi from the very first start, hire an experienced Bizagi consultant, because just for 1 or 2 weeks that helps you with setting up initially your landscape, because you don't have to learn everything on your own. It's really not very effective. So an experienced consultant would help.
Okay, great. Thank you, David. Thank you for giving us all those insights into WL Bank and the digitalization project. Now it's the time for our Q&A session. Hopefully the most valuable part, so if you haven't submitted your question, then please do so now. So let me ask the first question to David. David, what are the most common mistakes when starting your digital transformation program?
A very common mistake, I would say, is to underestimate the amount of work for identify and redesign processes. It's not a technical aspect, because from the technical side, I can say after some learning, the solution will work. You get to know the solution, Bizagi, and yeah.
Understood. There's another question which is quite interesting as well. Which role or roles were critical to the success of your program?
A very critical role that you have people inside the department that work closely with the IT department together, that are able to define requirements in a way that the IT department can work with this. As mentioned, something like a process board where you have a set of this kind of people and bring them together, that helps a lot. So you need something like a process team in your cooperation. That's a very critical role.
Okay, thank you. The last one we're picking out right now is if you could change one thing within the transformation program, what would it be?
We would have definitely hired a Bizagi consultant for initially set up the landscape. We did it on our own, and yeah, it took a little longer than we expected. So with the Bizagi consultant, I think you can do it within 1 week. A 3-tier landscape: dev, test, and prod.
Okay, thank you. So thank you guys for interacting here. Great questions from the audience. We'll try and respond to your questions we didn't get today via reply emails after the event closes out, as promised. Let me just thank David for his content today, and of course, you, the audience, for hanging in there throughout the webinar. I and Bizagi hope you found the session to be of value. You'll find a wealth of useful information at www.bizagi.com, including how to join our next live demonstration, giving you a chance to see Bizagi in action, or how to download Bizagi for free test usage today. Really do it. As David said, make you familiar with the tool right away. And for those of you who are most interested in best practices, you will find a bank of different content on our website, from white papers to webinars to customer case studies. Just check them out. So many thanks again for joining us, and have a wonderful rest of the week. Thank you for watching.